Howdy, folks. It's been a while since I did this, huh? About 3 years, I just looked it up. So, yeah. For those of you who do know me, you are probably wondering where the hell I went. For those of you who don't know me, you're probably wondering who the fuck I am. So, happily both easy things to deal with. My name is Mark. Almost feel like adding an I'm an alcoholic at the end of that. And I was doing DDP yoga up until I just checked round about March 2015. So for those of you who did know me, some of you may know me through the DDP yoga challenge, of which I was the UK winner for having lost. I think I was down to 200 pounds at that point, and Susan was pregnant. God, that feels like a while ago. So we had our son, who I believe is in a couple of the older blogs, Lathan Dallas Jake, who just turned 4. So where have I been? It's a long story. Where to start? So, not too long after Lathander was born, I started suffering from an anxiety disorder. Now, for the longest time, that went undiagnosed. Then it was diagnosed as me being bipolar, which it's not. And then I spent about a year getting treatment. Well, I'm kind of still getting treatment, but I spent a year getting to the point of being okay. So to give you, for anyone who doesn't suffer from anxiety, the best way I can possibly describe this to you is, if you have ever done anything like wrestling, or like being in a play or acting or anything along those lines, or going on a stage in front of people, that feeling of apprehension you get right before you go through the curtain, or maybe if you've been at a wedding right before you give the speech, that for 2 to 3 hours every day, if not longer. Some days it never went away at all. It is absolutely debilitating, both mentally and physically. Now, I should say, obvious disclaimer, I can only speak for how this affected me. I can't speak for how anxiety affects anybody else, or how they might experience it, but just telling you what my experience is. And it stopped me doing, it stopped me leaving the house. It stopped me doing anything. I stopped working out, started eating, like trash eventually, and I gave up on a lot of things I probably shouldn't. Like DDP yoga. And I have spent probably the last maybe a year, maybe 18 months, essentially rebuilding my life. I am back, so I had to stop working, even, as in a job, not just working out. So I'm back working a job. I'm back doing things with my family. All that had stopped completely. I was basically more or less sofa/bedbound. So all that has, I won't say it's fixed, I'll say it's being worked upon. And the anxiety thing is more manageable. I won't say it's gone away, because this sort of thing never truly does. But I was sort of sat listening to DDP on Joe Rogan's podcast, which you should check out if you haven't, today, and I thought, well, I started doing DDP yoga again, and about a month ago, and I was talking about doing blogs again, and I've been doing neither particularly seriously. It was always a kind of, when the anxiety's better, I'll start working out. When the anxiety's better, I'll start blogging. But I've kind of come to the realization over the last month that, a lot of that isn't going to happen. In terms of the anxiety just going away. And this is my life we're talking about, so I'm not waiting anymore. Which is kind of why I wanted to do this blog, and, and say to all of you lovely people that, it's not going away. And it's time to start again, regardless of that. Because I felt bad about just disappearing. It felt, to anyone who thinks, like, I lost weight, won a contest, and then just stopped. Like, I understand that perception. it makes a lot of sense if that's what people are thinking, and I never really felt good about the circumstances under which all that happened. So what am I going to do about this? Well, first of all, accountability time. I am currently £385. So that's basically all of the weight I last put back on. So, yeah. The good news is, like, in my mind for a lot of time I was saying I was back at square one, but I'm not back at square one. Like, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. I just got to get back there. You know, got knocked on my ass, but I feel it's time to get back up and start walking. So, where was I? Time to start walking. That was it. So I'm going to start blogging. I think I'm going to do one of these a day for like the next month, if not longer. They won't all be this long. Just to say, you know, what workout I've been doing, how I'm feeling, etc., etc. I'm going to post these in a few places. I'm not too fussed if anyone watches them, because it will be beneficial for me. But if you are watching them, you know, awesome stuff. But I felt I let a lot of people down when I stopped, and you know, one of those people is myself. So it's time to get everything back on track. That's all I have to say at this point, really. I will be back tomorrow with news of my workout, which will be in energy, because that's about all I can do right now. If you want to leave me a message, please feel free. And I will check out the places I post this for comments, etc., etc., etc. But until then, peace. Out.